Stop being positive. You heard me. Stop it. That's what I want to yell at people who think they're comforting someone who suffered a loss. You all know what I mean, with comments like, "You'll be fine, just be positive. She lived a good life. You'll find someone new." And I've even heard, "Hurricanes are good luck." We've all heard statements like these. And if you haven't, will. I can say with certainty, you will all experience loss in your life. Does that sound negative? It's not. It's life. And none of us is getting through it without facing loss. The important thing, and what I want to talk about today, is how you deal with that loss, feel that grief, and come out on the other side to your and. Your and is your full, meaningful life in spite of your loss. We tend to see things in life as either or, especially when it comes to our emotions. So that can translate into thinking you can either be sad or happy. In the midst of loss, it's common to think you'll never enjoy life again, that you can only feel joy or sorrow. Your and is about living your life, a fulfilling life, alongside the pain of your loss. You may be wondering what I know about finding your and through loss. 3 things have brought me to this place. The first is, for 20 years as a maternal-fetal medicine physician, I've taken care of women through complicated pregnancies with often heartbreaking outcomes. The second, I help women who are childless but didn't choose to be. Some have gone through fertility treatments only to end up empty. 20% of women experience infertility. That's 1 in 5 women dealing with infertility. So there's a good chance you know someone who has faced the heartache of infertility and the pain and challenges of treatment. Or you may know someone who can't have treatment because cost got in the way. There are those who have conceived but have lost pregnancy after pregnancy after pregnancy. And there are a myriad of reasons why someone would be childless when they don't want to be. The third is, I am one of those people who is childless, not by choice. I had known since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a mom. There was never any doubt. As a little girl, I'd play with my doll and pretend it was my baby. As I got older, I had it all imagined in detail. There would be morning sickness, cravings, swollen ankles, not being able to bend over and tie my own shoes and deliver. And then preschool, high school, and college graduation. I'm a really good imaginer. I also imagine the perfect partner by my side. A few hurdles, though. No perfect partner, and a slew of fertility issues. Over time, I accepted I wasn't going to have a child, or I thought I had accepted it. Later in life, I found the perfect partner, Dave, and we got married. He had 3 kids, and between us, we had 5 dogs. So we had the canine version of the Brady Bunch. And then the desire to have a child of my own popped up again and smacked me in the face. So we had a conversation we never had before because I thought I had accepted being childless. Dave, I want to have a baby. And Dave looked at me like I had 3 heads, one for each of the 3 kids he already had. And then there were my fertility issues. Unlike fine wine, they did not get better with age. Motherhood just wasn't going to happen for me. I felt an excruciatingly deep sadness. I couldn't even begin to imagine an end for me. And then one day, I was working on my computer. Full transparency, I was shopping on my computer, which Dave always loves. And I had a notification pop up. I had a new email. That email was of photo memories from a few years before. And as I looked at the photos, one struck me. It was of me, but I didn't recognize myself because I looked so happy. Then it dawned on me, that picture was taken before I realized I wouldn't become a mom. It was then that I knew I needed to change my focus from my loss to find my and, to find my ability to honor that loss and live fulfilling life. So I went on a journey to accept the loss of my dream of motherhood. I discovered that what I thought about my situation caused my feelings. Had I not wanted children, instead of thoughts about how I longed to be a mom and feeling sad, I would have had thoughts like, I'm child-free and loving it. But those weren't my thoughts. There wasn't anything wrong with my thoughts. They just weren't getting me to my and. When I understood that changing my thoughts changed my feelings, empowered, I also learned that grieving my loss wasn't a one-and-done event. I had thought that once I grieved, that would be it. Done and over with, it's behind me. But that's not how it works. The sadness remained, and it's still there. But more important, I now understand that although that sadness is a part of me, it's just one part of me. Meet Dr. Edith Eger. She is a 95-year-old psychologist, a Holocaust survivor. This petite powerhouse is an immaculately styled, engaging woman who is outspoken and has a sense of humor that can be a little saucy at times. I've been lucky enough to hear her speak in what I call virtual in person. She is incredibly inspiring. But one thing she said really resonated with me. When we grieve, it's not just for what happened. We grieve for what didn't happen. I've been told by more people than I can count, you can't miss something you never had. It's even a line in a movie. And it's not just those of us who are childless who hear things like that. You didn't get the job promotion you wanted? You fell in love with someone who didn't love you back. You missed a big celebration or a long-awaited vacation because of the pandemic. Yes, you can miss what you never had. But when Dr. Egger said this, when we grieve, it's not just for what happened, we grieve for what didn't happen. It was as if a 500-pound blanket that had pinned me down was whipped away. I had internalized society's messages, so I didn't think I had the right to grieve, and I pushed it away. Dr. Egger, who had endured unspeakable atrocities, gave me validation. Not having a child when I so wanted one was a loss, and I had every right to grieve. Everyone deals with some type of loss that changes the future you planned. Many of you had plans that didn't work out. You didn't just plan things, but you assumed things would go a certain way in your life, and now your future is different. Maybe yours is different because of a child with an illness. Yours may be different because you lost a relationship with your child. Divorce may have changed your future plans. All of you have had to redefine how you see yourselves. Everyone deals with some type of loss. But I'm here to tell you, you can come out on the other side, living a fulfilling life alongside the pain of your loss. What that means for you is that you too can find your way to your and. Consider the possibility that instead of seeing your loss as something to get over, see it as a single part of your life that you can thrive with. Grief changes over time, but it doesn't go away. It doesn't have to define you, though, and you are the ones who get to decide that it won't. Through your thoughts. Your thoughts create your feelings. That idea isn't a new one, but what it means for you is there are 3 actions you can take to come through to your and. The first is learning how to distinguish between your circumstances and your thoughts about your circumstances. Generally, we think we're sad, mad, happy, or whatever we're feeling because of our circumstances. But it's our thoughts about our circumstances that create our feelings. For any of you who have lost a job, remember that time. Remember what you were feeling and what you were thinking. Some of you may have been thinking things like, I don't know what I'm going to do, or this is so unfair. And you probably weren't feeling good. Some of you may have been thinking, hey, this is great. It's the kick in the pants. I need to go do something better. You probably felt things like relief or excitement. The circumstance of losing a job is neutral. Your thoughts about losing your job, negative or positive, are what give it impact. The second action to take is accepting that your emotions that are typically labeled as negative by society are actually important for your emotional well-being. We're inundated with messages to push away uncomfortable emotions and favor positive ones, and that will make us stronger. But Dr. Susan David, an award-winning psychologist, says, No, it does the opposite. Pushing away, distracting, or avoiding negative emotions can lead to anxiety and depression. A fake positive attitude doesn't resolve negative emotions. Instead, they come out in destructive behaviors like gambling or eating a full sleeve of Thin Mints in one sitting. I'm not saying I've ever done that multiple times in my life. The third action to take is when you experience a loss, acknowledge that it is a loss. Don't adopt the view that it could be worse, to force positivity into a situation you are hurting. Don't look to others for definition, permission, or validation. A loss is a loss. Whatever your loss is, if you want to come through your end, you need to feel that loss and then reshape it. Let's go back to the advice you're often given when you've experienced a loss. You'll be fine, just be positive. Instead, picture yourself honoring all of your emotions. Imagine the freeing feeling of acknowledging your grief and embracing the joy in your life. Start by examining your thoughts. I'm positive you'll be fine. Thank you.